Lads, to do these, what you do is you realise 25 and 125 are two different numbers. You go to your calculator and you write down shift fact. Okay? So 25 and you press equals, and you press shift fact 5 squared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite the full question, except I'm going to be missing the 25 and 125. It's going to be changed into 5 squared. What am I going to change the 125 into? Anybody? 5 cubed. Next, I'm going to use the multiplication rule for indices. What do we get for that, Danny? Yeah, multiply 2 by x minus 2. You look at the board, I say you'll get it. 2 times x?
2x.
2 times minus 2?
4.
Minus 4, yeah, good man. Yeah, didn't need your book there. This one here, sir. 1 over 5 to the power of 3.
That'll be
5 to the power of?
5 to the power minus 3.
Excellent, minus 3. Then Krill, to finish it off. Power equals power?
2x minus 4.
Yeah.
Equals 3.
Yeah.
Then 2x equals 1.
2x equals?
1
Yeah, it's going to be minus 3 plus 4, which in turn is 1. Then put it up, then x equals? Half. If you're in your junior cert, there is no back of the book. How do you check if you got the right answer or not? You can put 25, okay? And then what can you replace the x with? What can you replace that x with? A half, can't you? And what's a half take away 2 then, isn't it? And what should be my answer in my calculator if everything has worked perfectly for me? What should it equal? 1 over 125. And there you go. We don't need the back of the book. You can check your answer in your exam. Okay, let's go for 29. Okay, looks like a bit of a tricky one, to be fair. Now, what can I change 4 into? If I shift fact 4, what will happen? 2 squared. If I shift fact root 2, what will happen? What will happen in the calculator is a maths error. But, lucky enough, you knew it already in your head. When you see the square root sign, it means 2 to the power of a half. What's the division rule, or what you do with powers when it's 1 divided by the other one? You minus them. What you get when you take them away? What's 2 take away a half? Now it is 1.5, you're right, but we're going to be dealing in fractions, not decimals, so anybody care to help me out there? 3 over 2 is correct. So 3 over 2 is, 3 over 2. So what does the question now become? It comes 2 to the power of 2x plus 1 equals 2 to the power of 3 over 2. What do you think you can do next? Power equals power. So 2x plus 1 equals... Do we like fractions? Anybody here read the fractions? Yes? Yeah, multiply top by 2, divide the bottom by 2. What happens to the 2's now? When you get 4x plus 2 equals 3, 4x equals 1, x equals 1 over 4. Okay, how many people got 1 over 4? This one looks like great fun. The first one, shift fact, what do you get? 5 to the power of 3. What's root 5? 5 to the power of a half, not 5 and a half, 5 to the power of a half, okay? What's 125 over root 5? So it says write it as a power of 5. So that means I have to change everything to 5s. And then what's 3 take away a half? 2 and a half, which is 5 over 2. Great. That's 5 to the power of 5 over 2. Now on to the next one, we have to square it. Now, sometimes there's a cheap way of doing this, okay? There's 2 ways of doing this. I'll show you the first way. fact, I'll show you something else as well. There's a cheap way of doing some of these questions, okay? See this one that's squared, then we all agree is 5 to the power of 5 over 2. We all agreed that, didn't we? And then it's squared on the outside. So what's 5 over 2 multiplied by 2? 10 over 2, which is 5 to the power of 5. Will everybody stick with me for a second? I think there's a cheaper way of doing the second. See, C and D. I think there might be a cheaper way of doing these. I'll show you what I mean now. Look what happens when I do this in the calculator. See 125 over root 5? Everybody looking? What's the answer? 25 root 5. Just have a look at this for a second. C is 25 root 5. Now, 25 root 5. What's 25 in 5s? 5 squared. What's root 5 in 5s? And what's 2 plus a half? 2.5, which is 5 over 2. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Let's look what happens when I do this. Why don't I just wrap this in a? Why don't I wrap that in a? I'm going to wrap this in a bracket. I'm going to square it. And what happens? 3,125. Ah, if only there was a button in my calculator that could tell me how many 5s belong in that. Oh wait, there is. Shift, fact. Answer is? Just prefer it that way. Use the calculator to break it up a bit. See what happens. Now, here's what we're going to do in the next part. So can anyone in the class tell me, using 38 part 2, what do you reckon we do with the first part here? What can I change root 5 into? What am I going to do next? 3x plus 1 equals a half. Common denominator, lads? 2 on top, and what's this become? Says 2 equals 1. 6x equals minus 1. X equals minus 1 over 6. Everybody alright with that? Alright, let's try the big one. Let's try C out. See part C, guys? What can I change all of this into? 5 to the power of 5, can't I? And then this is 2x minus 1. Now what? Equals 5. Then what? 6. X equals 3. Good job. Alright. It says these ones are simultaneous equations. What's a characteristic of a simultaneous equation? What do simultaneous equations look like? Yes. 2 equations. How many letters? Usually 2 letters. A simultaneous equation looks something like this. Everybody happy with that? That's what a simultaneous equation looks like, usually. Now, question for you. If I had 5 to the power of 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of 7, what would the answer be? 5 to the power of 9. Excellent. Now, could anybody therefore tell me, if I had 5 to the power of 3x plus 5 to the power of 2y, what would the answer be? Yeah. Nope. I had to add 3 apples and 2 bananas together. No, simply 3x plus 2y. You're meant to add them together, but you aren't actually able to add them together. Does that make sense? So you add them. Everybody happy that multiplication means add them? Remember we agreed earlier that 5 to the power of 2 multiplied by 5 to the power of 7 is 5 to the power of 9. You add them together. Problem is you can't add 3x and 2y together. It's impossible. But we know that it equals 5 to the power of minus 10. Now what? What did we do in every question coming up to this?
We put the bubbles.
Yeah. 3x plus 2y equals minus 10. There is your first simultaneous equation written out. Let's try and find the second one now, okay? Can anyone in the class take a guess of what 7 to the power of x multiplied by 7 to the power of 4y is? Anybody want to take a guess? Yes, sir. 7 to the power of x plus 4y. Excellent. And what did we say that equals? 7 to the power of 0. So what can we say next? X plus 4y equals 0. Everybody cool with that? Right, what can we do next now, lads? Yeah?
We can
Do you want to get rid of the x or get rid of the y?
the y.
2y and 4y. What gets rid of a 4y? A minus 4y. Any way of changing that to a minus 4y? Yeah.
Minus 2.
Minus 2. So minus 6x minus 4y equals 20. Then the other one is x plus 4y equals 0. Minus 5x equals 20. X equals, 5x equals minus 20. X equals minus 4. Okay. Do you want to use the substitution method, or we go through this simultaneous equation again and get rid of the y's? What do you want to do? Do the substitution method, okay? In the substitution method, you either choose one of your two equations. You either choose your yellow equation or you choose your green equation, and you substitute x into minus 4 into it. So we'll choose the green one. So what happens to the green one then, guys? X turns into minus 4. Bring the 4 over the other side, what happens then? 4y equals 4, then y equals 1. Anybody suggested method to check in my answer? Yes. Substitute back into the very first equation. What's 3x? If x is minus 4, what's 3x? 5 to the power of minus 12. If y equals 1, what's 2y? 2. What's 5 to the power of minus 12 multiplied by 5 to the power of 2? Is that what we were expecting? It is. Alright, you're going to have to stop me there, I'm afraid.